All right, so we're going to talk today about function notation, all right, and evaluating functions in general. So for function notation, y'all, they can take any equation that we have and turn it into a function simply by changing this y right here to an f of x. Okay, so that's what that's called. That's called f of x. All right, so that's how you would read this. You would read this as f of x equals whatever. Okay, f of x equals 4x minus 1. Okay, f of x is the same thing as y, so it's our output, and x is still your input. So literally, they just took out the y and put in f of x. So they're completely interchangeable. Okay, I know you've heard the saying, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. 6 and a half dozen are equal. It doesn't matter which one you say, they're the same. Okay, all right, so evaluating a function means that basically they're going to give us an equation using the function notation f of x, and then they're going to say find f of some number. So if you notice right here where x was, they have now put this number. So that's all we're going to do to solve this problem. F of negative 7 is going to equal, we're going to put this number in for x. 4 times negative 7 minus 1. And then we're going to simplify. Negative 28 minus 1 is negative 29. So that is our answer. So it's just fancy substitution. That's all it is. Whether they use, now looking down a little bit, whether they use F or G or H or L or M, or it doesn't matter what letter they use. You read it f of x, g of x, h of x. You do it the same way. So yesterday, whenever we did regular function equations, we had a whole set of domain, like a whole set of x's to plug in. 3 of them, 4 of them, whatever. Today, we only got one. Okay, so we're going to plug them in and evaluate, and that's it. All right, so here we go. Starting with number 1, f of x equals x plus 7, and they want us to find f of 5. So f of 5 is going to equal 5 plus 7, which is 12. That's it. All right, number 2, g of x equals 3x minus 8. So g of negative 3 means 3 times negative 3 minus 8. Okay, be very careful how much you use your calculator here because a lot of these are calculator inactive. They're very easy to do without the calculator, so that's why they make them inactive. Okay, h of x equals 2/3 x minus 1. They want to find h of 9. So 2/3 times 9 minus 1. 2 times 9 is 18. 18 divided by 3 is 6. And 6 minus 1 is 5. Okay. X squared minus x. Okay, so now here, y'all, there are two x's, one here and one here. So this negative 4 goes in for both of them. Negative 4 squared minus negative 4. Notice I did put it in parentheses because I wanted to see those negatives and what I can do with them, okay? So anytime we square a negative, some of y'all are still struggling with this. When you square a negative, stop listening to the calculator. If you don't put it in parentheses, the calculator is going to give you the wrong answer, okay? Negative 4 squared is positive 16. Those turn to a positive plus 4. So our answer to number 4 is 20. Okay? All right, number 5. Same thing, there's two x's, so it's going to go into both of them. Negative's out front this time. Some of y'all are going to want to argue with me about that. Okay, so that turns into 25, but the negative's out front. Okay, negative 25 plus 30 is 5, and 5 minus 4 is 1. All right, negative 1/2 times negative 8 plus 9. All right, half of 8 is 4. Two negatives make a positive, so 4 plus 9 is 13. Okay, fancy substitution. That's all it is. Okay. Again, there's two x's here, so we're going to put it in for both of them. 2 times negative 5 squared plus 4 times negative 5 minus 9. Negative 5 squared gives me 25. Okay, that gives me 50 minus 20, which is 30, and 30 minus 9 is 21. Step by step, literally. It's like a funnel. You start here and you're funneling down to one number. All right, now we don't talk about absolute value in Math 1, but we'll just do it here because it's in the problem. Okay, so again, I'm going to put these here. So these little bars outside mean absolute value. So that's going to be negative 7 minus negative 7 squared. Okay, so that's negative 7. That becomes 49. Okay, still got the bars. So negative 7 minus 49 is negative 56. And y'all, absolute value is always positive when you're done. So it's going to be 56. You won't see one like this on any quiz I give you or the EOC. We don't do absolute value, but it was on there, so I was just going to discuss it real quick. Okay. All right, 2 more. Ooh, we're getting fancy over here. All right, so pay attention. Right here, pay attention. Number 9 can get confusing, okay? So, for number 9, what do I see that I'm going to plug in? This whole thing right here, c plus 7 is going to go in for x. So f of c plus 7 means 4 times c plus 7 plus 11. And now, y'all, it's just a distributive property and combining like terms equation. So that's 4c plus 28 plus 11. 28 and 11 can go together and make that 39. And that's your answer. Okay, because you put c in there as well, you're not going to get just a single number because you ended up putting a variable in there for it as well. So that makes a difference, okay? Same thing with number 10. So these are as hard as it gets for y'all. This whole thing is going to go right here for x. So that's going to be negative 9 minus 2k minus 5. Don't forget to distribute your negative. And now we can combine our like terms. Okay, you could also have minus 4 and then minus 2k. The order's fine. All right, now for 11 through 16, it's telling us to use. Sorry, y'all. Okay, for 11 through 16, it's telling us to use these 3 right here. Okay, so looking at each problem separately, if it says F, we're going to use F. If it says G, we're going to use G, and if it says H, we're going to use H. Okay, so here we go. Start with F of 4. So that means 8 minus 3 times 4. All right, I'm starting with this. Pay close attention. I'm starting with this. So that's 8 minus 12, which is negative 4. But I've not used this 9 yet. So I'm going to bring it down, and then I'll get my final answer of 5. Okay, if you want to add it on the end right here, you can do that. Wherever, whatever makes you feel better. I like to evaluate my parentheses first, my actual function, and then move outside. Okay, so what I mean, like on this one, I'm going to start with g of negative 5. So I'm going to look at g. So that's negative 5 squared plus 2 times negative 5. So let's do all of this. This gives me 25. This gives me negative 10. So put those together, that gives me 15. Then I'm going to bring down the negative 2. And negative 2 times 15 is negative 30. Okay, number 13 uses 2 g's. So we're going to do g of 4 first. So that's 4 squared plus 2 times 4. Okay, and then we're going to do g of negative 1. So that's negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1, which is 1 plus negative 2, which is negative 1. And then we're going to add those together. 24 plus negative 1 is 23. All right, now 14 uses an H and an F. So we need one of each. Okay, we're going to do H of 2 first. That's negative 5 over 2 times 2 minus 1. Those cancel. That gives me negative 5 minus 1, which is negative 6. So this was negative 6. All right, I still got to bring down that 3 times that, which makes that negative 18. Over here, I'm going to do f of negative 9. 8 minus 3 times negative 9. Which is 35. So I'm going to pull that down. Okay, and then in between there is a minus sign. So negative 18 minus 35 is in fact negative 53. Okay, y'all have got to be careful with those signs. All right, number 15 and 16 are a little different because they say f of x equals negative 13. So we're not plugging anything in, but we know that f of x is 8 minus 3x. So I can put that here. 8 minus 3x equals negative 13. And y'all, this is a regular two-step equation that we do so often. And your x should have been 7. Okay? And the last one of these, h of x is up here as negative 5 over 2x minus 1 equals 39. So we're just solving a regular equation here, y'all. We're going to add the 1. We're going to multiply by the 2. And then we're going to divide by the negative 5. Okay? All right, number 17 is our word problem application of this, okay? Anthropologists use the length of certain bones of human skeleton to estimate the height of a living person. One of these bones is the femur. To estimate the height in centimeters of a female with a femur length of x, the function h of x equals, and now y'all, h of x, basically that h is standing for height. A lot of times they try to use things that apply to the problem. Okay, h of x equals 61.41 plus 2.32x can be used. Find h of 46. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to do h of 46 equals 61.41 plus 2.32 times 46. Y'all, I'm going to plug that straight into my calculator. The whole thing at one time. 61.41 plus 2.32 times 46. I know it's hard for you to see. There you go. And hit enter. And I got 168.13. Okay, so this is saying x is your femur length, okay? And h is the height in centimeters of the female. All right, so you're saying a female with a femur length of 46 inches, oh, sorry, centimeters, is 168.13 centimeters tall. That's what we're saying. A lot of it is just interpretation, not application. All right, and the last thing we need to cover is what to do if they give you the graph. Okay, so you're just going to look. F of negative 3. Now remember, these are your x values. So I'm going to go to negative 3 on my x-axis and see where it intersects the graph. And that intersects at positive 2. F of sorry, I'll go to B. F of 1, so I go to 1, and it intersects at positive 2. F of 0, so that means x is 0. It intersects y up here at 5. And f of 2 is down here at -3. And that's all you're doing when they give you the graph. If they give you a number, you find it on the x-axis, see where it intersects the y-axis, okay? F of -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's up here at positive 2. 0 is right here at 0. 2 is at -2. And 5 is at -1. Okay? That's evaluating functions whenever we're plugging them in. One of the main things that you will see concerning functions. Okay? All right. Get your homework done, and I will see you all tomorrow.